Welcome back into another episode of Spaceman 2.0 Phoenix Truth Rising Show, here to help you grow in the knowledge and wisdom of truth, and the truth will set you free. So through darkness and delight, endless cycles of the divine plan, Volume 1, we get into the true teachings of God, Aton, HATONN, and the truth about extraterrestrials. Extra means extra, and terrestrial means terra or land, so extra land. Where can this extra land be? Well, maybe beyond the Antarctic ice ring, but that's another topic for another day. So before we get back on into this episode, you can order yours down below. Just scroll down below and email me, and I'll get one sent out to you as soon as possible. We'll get right back into HATONN's spiritual lessons. Errors and omissions in presentations. I witness as one's effort to present our information from the stages of seminars, and I see the labor of love, risk, and how and where do we get it all projected. I see the intent to inform firstly on the basis of that which was actually experienced, and this causes a lot of reference to the self, doing the presentation of I this and I that. This is in hopes that you can then come into some reasonable belief as to content. Further, one's come into the work bearing the same prejudices and misunderstandings, as does anyone else who are victims of deceit and game playing at the expense of mankind. This is why we work with individuals and businesses which simply do their job, as with America West and our connection. They are publishers. They are publishers of many things and volumes of work, most of which I cannot even begin to sanction as truth. However, you will note also that they push books which are otherwise authored and presented by very physical persons. They often do so because these documents contain that confirmation which can give you comfort and insight. Ones of the writers are not necessarily enlightened persons, but most often are totally human-oriented people with great egos and self-intent. My appreciation is given for the very fact that these blessed ones are willing to step out there against the orthodox disinformation projectionists and fool's games to take a stand in possibilities. God does not expect perfection, but only an open mind, and the perfection will follow in sequence. As one speak from experience, you will note errors. Let us just assume one tiny conjecture, for example. George may be speaking of aliens, and he will likely present pictures of one Asket. There will be presented one picture who is actually the being in point, and another is only a model. He is likely to say that this person is Pleiadian, since the subject is regarding Pleiades. No, this person is not Pleiadian. She is from the Tao universe, and has only remote connections to Pleiadians. Samjaza is a different matter. This one is offspring of Samjaza, who is considered a son of God, and your forefather in direct lineage. I do not wish to confuse you further, but you are going to have to be understanding of speakers on your place, as they too glean information and correct stories into factual data. You ones want sensationalism and pictures, and thus and so. However, most of the sensationalism and pictures are false as presented. Ones fail to realize that truth is sufficient unto all needs, and always far more strange and exciting than is the fiction as given for sensationalism. But most of all, you must not continue to confuse the speaker with the author. At best, and often at worst, the speaker can only offer opinion of perception regarding the author's intent, and it most often is directly contradictory. Our journals have full intent and purpose to send forth the call on to the waiting receivers, for your job is at hand. The information is to awaken the sleeping masses. We do not need to write of displacement and atrocities within the lives of your place, other than to awaken you to your plight. Men of great standing and stature are giving you the same. Mine is to confirm it. Now, as the speakers of truth are abounding, we can turn again onto our purpose and instructions of what comes next, and where do we go from here. It is not enough to know what is wrong, or even to know what needs doing to change it. You must know the purpose of the journey in the first place, and the cycles of change, so you can confront your destiny and transition. You do not face a couple of places like Sodom and Gomorrah of biblical times. Your entire planet has become Sodom. Therefore, ridding a couple of cities from the globe won't do it. The elite human cohorts of the adversary plan to rid your planet of over 6 billion people, and they plan to do it before your year 2000. That means a lot of changes in the very near future. Elite know and use coming events. The elite know of the changes at hand. They know and frantically work to deal with the upcoming photon belt entrance. They will use the happening to ill-conceived evil if, in fact, they cannot change the entrance through technical means. It appears they cannot, so you can be faced probably before your year's ending with some 3 to 5 days of terrifying and incredible chaos and panic, death and terror. The adversary hopes to gain total upper hand control at that time, including thrusting you into a space war, in which you have no idea of that which you are challenging, for it is not space aliens, but the same elite you submit to on the globe itself. Well, Chelas, you have been warned that there will be few who make the journey home in conjunction with God's travelers. You have responded to the lie and forfeited all responsibility for self-dumping your sins upon the blood-soaked innocent lamb. No, you shall individually stand in judgment before God. Just you and him, old friend, just you and him. The Father Aton wrote on Monday, December 11th, 1989, Year 3, Day 117, and it was put to journal. I would reprint the message herein for your reminding. Aton. Aton, quote, "The third virtue that escapes your memory, Dharma, is that in which you excel, Chela. Wowacintanca, fortitude." Now remember this book from the other day from Little Crow that I showed you. Up here we have wisdom, generosity, bravery, and fortitude. So there's the native names for each one. But this is the medicine wheel of the Native Americans. And it shows basically the path back home to God through the sacred circle of infinity, the Christos, the white buffalo path. Continuing on. You have just forgotten, for all men forget. These things must be told and put into the press that my people can be in the remembering. I am Grandfather Aton to speak to you. Your mind shall be kept veiled in your consciousness, for man is not yet ready to hear it all, and man's tongue is attached so solidly to his consciousness that it spills over as prompted by his ego. You shall simply clear of all dark clouds from your space and write that which we bring to you, just as you have been doing these months past. If my words bring embarrassment or a swish of guilt upon ones who are in the receiving, then it is time that they pay attention. No thing more and no thing less. You walk the road of light, and the messages are not always for you to decipher, much less for you to project in your own interpretation. You shall be given to understand the difference. You shall seek wisdom, which is the first virtue, first in all things, and the rest shall be added in properness. You shall persist in wuhutika, which is bravery, for you know the best and the worst, and from the worst shall rise the best. You shall also continue to put my truth to the pages, lest you fail your last test, that of Wowacintanca, generosity, as truth is given forth, and ones who receive clutch it and hide it in the darkness, or sell it for earthly worth, greed, or putrid ego satisfaction. The virtue of generosity is lost, for unless you give it forth, you cannot receive of the abundance back into the beingness, which is truly you within. Wisdom comes from the errors committed and not repeated. So be it. With wisdom comes the knowledge that all things are binded together by the strands of each bound together as the cohesive whole. Wisdom is the recognition and reverence, not worship, of the seen and the unseen, the known and the unknown, working together and interacting in such a way as to bring balance onto that which is the creation of that one from which you come. But simply to be in the knowing does not bring wholeness, for unless there is the act of generosity and sharing, action, the fourth virtue, is failed. Heed well the remindings of the ancient teachers who have willingly come forth again to point the directions. 2,000 years past in the traditions of those you label today, the Hopi, came a warning which men ignore and yet has been repeated again and again from your great wise men, sages. When you see a gourd of ashes in the sky, you will know that the great purification is at hand. Whether you wish to realize it or not makes no difference whatsoever. And 2,000 years ago, the truth was again brought by one who represented truth, and you were again told, there will be wars and rumors of wars, earthquakes, famines, pestilence, men fainting with fear and with foreboding of what is coming on the world, for the powers of the heavens will be shaken. You have been told before the ages of newness would be filled with chemical pollution. You have been told that there would be some severe floods upon the lands and severe droughts. Volcanoes will erupt, and you will be plagued by earthquakes, massive erosion, and vast inundations. There will be great drastic activities, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, bizarre weather patterns, and these will especially be prevalent in what you call the Ring of Fire, stretching from the south of the Sea of Peace and Japan to the western mountain chains of North and South America. But do not expect it to only be in these places. But I speak here to you ones in this place of nearness. These things shall come upon all places upon your globe, and within your globe. Ah, yes, Chela. 'Tis not only in your placement, for it shall engulf the totality of the earth mother, but you are given that which is in your realm of attention and existence. You shall be given those things about your world so that they can be integrated for all peoples. There are others who shall be given those insights. There is no point in focusing upon these things. They are but the cleansing and the renewal and the casting off of the old. They are but the clues to the timing sequence that man can understand his slothful ways and quicken his attention. As Little Crow suggests, quit looking into the reflection glass, for that is not who you are. Look within to the truth of self, and see who you might be hiding within that cumbersome machinery. 'Tis the journey within that is ultimate, not the reflection from a looking glass, for the glass stops your vision just beyond your nose, and vision must flow throughout infinity, beyond man's puny limits. There is only brotherhood within the vision quest of ones who come from the Thunder Peoples and the Sky Brothers. These ones were labeled the bird tribes, for when they were labeled thusly, only birds flew within the consciousness of experience. So here again is the look at the four virtues: wisdom, generosity, bravery, and fortitude. And generosity is the ultimate aim, to be able to live wisdom, bravery, and fortitude in action by giving and sharing with your fellow man. And can this be what it was meant by coming back on the clouds? This is our higher brothers and sisters able to manifest from fourth dimension into the third, manifesting their craft, that are here watching us and seeing what we're going to do to cast off the evil communist takeover that's taking place through subterfuge and subversion and manipulation and distraction. And most of all, Satan uses confusion and fear and ignorance of the truth. So let's reread Little Crow's wonderful wisdom. Little Crow suggests, quit looking into the reflection glass, for that is not who you are. Look within to the truth of self and see who you might be hiding within that cumbersome machinery. 'Tis the journey within that is ultimate, not the reflection from a looking glass, for the glass stops your vision just beyond your nose, and vision must flow throughout infinity, beyond man's puny limits. There is only brotherhood within the vision quest of ones who come from the Thunder Peoples and Sky Brothers. These ones were labeled the bird tribes, for when they were labeled thusly, only birds flew within the consciousness of experience. Ah, yes, Chelas, I can explain these things unto you, and I shall do so in many ways, through carefully chosen receivers and transmitters, and they can be written in a way in which each individual entity can be made to understand. You must place into perspective that which has occurred upon your globe of manifested experience. You watch men unearth another man from apparently another time, a skeleton, a bowl, of primitive clay fragments, pieces of stone, and sharp glass like flint tools. You look and you marvel at the findings, while you overlook the grandest discoveries of the cycles of time. These places are unearthed because they represent the beginning, not the ending. When the old continents are again thrust up from the eons of cleansing under the seas, life shall need begin again, and man always insists on starting over. His destructive and evil nature comes forth and destroys, and the mother is forced to again cleanse, so she rolls over in her bed and washes away that which is evil and without purity, and that which is man created is lost again into its elemental forms, but that which was remaining of the elemental species is left for the next generations of modern man to find and exploit. For man must always come into the truth of it. There is nothing more and nothing less. All he can gather is his experiences. All he can gather is his experiences and his growth in recognition of the vast infinity of the creation, where he exists forever. Let's read that again. All he can gather is his experiences and his growth in recognition of the vast infinity of the creation, where he exists forever. As the old comes forth, all that is brought back is the basic beginnings of what appears to be life. A few fragments of geographical locations are always left to remain, that there might be continuation of a species. Man was always man. Man was never a fish nor an ape. Man was always man. It is always the ones of the ancients who remain within the earth mother to nurture and hold to the old, that again a civilization of human might be rebirthed and given opportunity to experience and grow through his virtues and repeat or renew. It is his choice, always. The livingness of the mother is brought into her radiance, and those with her which have come into truth. Those who must be taught in the lower grades are placed appropriately, that they can continue in their lessons. When a planet closes its magnificent and ultimate cycle, new lands raise from the oceans, and without the waters, the living plants and animal species perish, or in some instances adapt. However, as the old is brought for cleansing beneath the waters of the great seas, that which man has corrupted poisons the remaining oceans, and the new oceans beneath which the pollution lies sunken. Some survive, for it is intended to be that way. If the ending of a planet or life base is truly annihilated, it becomes a massive asteroid belt and or an encapsulated energy form to be remolded into whatever the Creator so thinks. It matters not to you, for you will have lost your consciousness and would again be without knowingness. Again, the ancient teachers from the universal realms are there to begin the lessons again, the first to come, the last to go, only relieved by brief periods of liftoff to ensure recommence of the mighty cycle. You ones in this consciousness are in the final fragments of the mighty cycle, before and while the old passes and the new begins. It is a wondrous gift indeed to be the selected few, for the false betrayers stand to the left and to the right all about you to push you from your path. I am the mother hen for all of you, my little fledglings who cling on to my feathers, for I know the path and I hold the lamp to light the way. You need no rituals to reach out and take my hand, for you have never been disconnected from me. To renew the bond is but a thought, to sever it also but a thought, and even then I shall not leave you, as you are allowed your lessons. So with that being said, is that not the greatest spiritual lessons ever from the one Aton, HATONN, the Father God? However you take it, the truth will set you free. Discern it for yourself. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll be back with another episode of the Phoenix Truth Rising Show. This is the Spaceman 2.0, and out. Thank you to all my watchers and subscribers. Please like and subscribe and share. Thank you very much, and have a great day.